There were certainly things about Jack-Wabbit and the Beanstalk that I liked, but generally I didn't love it as much as I'd expected. The reason I expected to love it is because as I've mentioned before, I love cartoons that parody or do unique interpretations of classic stories and fables. Jack and the Beanstalk, of course, being the one in question, and I love Bugs Bunny. But I just didn't really think they utilised the narrative as much as they could have done. It's a 1943 Warner Brothers cartoon directed by Friz Freleng and written by Michael Maltese, and Mel Blanc voices everybody. And Bugs Bunny is faced with the giant, and of course the giant wants to try and get on top of him or defeat him, and Bugs, in true Bugs clever style, gives as good as he gets and keeps tricking the giant. Who will win? I'm not going to say, but it's quite predictable with regards to the progression of the narrative. I think one of the reasons why it didn't work for me was because of the giant. I just didn't care for him. Now, he's actually very, very, very similar to a character in another Warner Brothers cartoon, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one with Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. And the character keeps naming them George. And I love that cartoon, so it's weird that I don't really like the character here. I guess it's because the giant just doesn't fit what was in my head, and when you have this preconceived notion of what something should be like, it means it's slightly difficult to enjoy it. So it's not necessarily a fault of the cartoon, but if you feel that same way, please let me know. Obviously, if it's many people who feel that way, then maybe it's not just the cartoon. It does seem to be well received, though. It's got 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, which is not too bad at all. Bugs Bunny was on top form. I liked his performance, no problems there. It was pretty interesting. Now, the description on IMDb, which I read after watching it, says that this is making fun of the giant's apparent superiority, even though he's actually, what does he call himself? He doesn't call himself a moron. He calls himself, oh, I can't remember, but he refers to himself as being an idiot. And yeah, reading that description on IMDb, you could go back and watch it, or I could go back and watch it and analyse it as seeing it as Bugs, the Allies, the Giant, the Axes, and representing World War II as they may be big and scary, but actually when it comes down to it, the Axes are not clever and not very bright. And that's interesting, that's an interesting theory, and I think that would make it more fascinating. So I think maybe had I read that description first, I would have enjoyed it more. But at the same time, it goes back to the argument of should you need context to enjoy a film or a cartoon or anything, or should it just be there to enhance it? To me, that description enhances it. I don't know if that's exactly what they were intending, by the way, or if that's just one person's reading of it, but certainly I can see that fitting it. With that description in mind, I will probably watch it again, but I feel like I shouldn't need that description to be able to enjoy it. I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. But at the same time, I feel like Jack-Wabbit and the Beanstalk was just really lacking something.